So in our last video, we ended off by saving our data after we'd created two label maps, one for bone and one for skin in the adult chimp. I closed Slicer since then, and I want to come back and start working on that file again. I don't want to reload the DICOM data from scratch. I want to reload the entire scene. So in this welcome module that opens, if you don't see that, you can go to welcome Slicer, or you can go to data up here in the top left corner. But if we go to load data here, we can just, instead of directory to add, we can choose which file to add. And navigate to the folder that where you saved all of those things. And we want to choose the .mrml file, whatever you named it. I named mine adult chimp. And we're going to open that and then, yes, say OK. We'll take a minute. Now it should pop up with all the data as we left it. So if we go back to the editor, and the per structure volumes should still be listed, bone, skin. You can see that each one of these has its own name, and so this is the name of the original volume, and then bone label, then skin label. So we're going to need to know that information in just a minute. So now we want to generate a model here. And so in the editor window, this button, this kind of green looking little polygonal lozenge, if we click on that, you can just make a model here from this point, but if you go to the model maker, it will give us more choice. So once we go here, the parameters are set here. Now we have to choose which input volume we're using. So the one that's just called label is the original one. We want to use either the bone or the skin. So we'll use bone first. We can create a new model hierarchy and rename it. We'll just call this one anatomy. We can use it for both. The model name will be bone. Actually, I'll call it adult chimp bone. Now, if I were you, I would keep the adult and the juvenile separate, but just in case they get mixed up. And then we've got the model maker parameters. Now, the start number for bone, I think, was 1. You can see the start and end label are set to -1. Just turn up the end label so it goes beyond what you need. Now, there's smoothing. You can turn this up, but the more you smooth it, the more polygons there will be generated, and the bigger the file will be in Maya. So you might have to experiment with this to get good quality. And then decimate is reducing the number of polygons. So now it's set to 25%. So it's going to reduce 25% of the polygons that it could create from the voxels. You can turn this up too if you want, but you start to lose detail. I'm just going to leave it at the default settings, but if you find that the model is too faceted or it's losing detail, you might have to adjust these, so I'll leave that to you. Then label, I think I have to call this bone. Let's see. Now we'll just click apply, see what happens. So discrete marching cubes, it means it's looking through the 3D space in cubes of a certain size to see where there should be mesh and where there shouldn't. Sorry, that's my dog. It's decimating and it's smoothing the ultimate model. And it's finished, status completed. So let's do the same thing for the skin label. Let's just change these things. Skin, and change that. It should work. It's still going to go into the anatomy models. We'll apply that and let it run through. Now, of course, it depends on what computer you're using to see how fast this goes. How fast the CPU is, because that's what's doing all the calculation here. This looks like it's going to be a denser model. It's taking longer. Okay, so it's finished. So now now I'm not sure how this will show up, but if we go to our models menu up here, it's not showing it in the scene, but we can see that two models have been created under the anatomy model set. So we don't need to see them here. We just now want to export them to Maya. And exporting actually happens through the save options. So if we open this up, we'll see that there are some new things being saved. Some of these things haven't changed, like the annotation ROIs or the master scene view, but two new things have added. So they're not checked off. But these two new things have been added: adult chimp bone, adult chimp skin. So I guess I didn't have to actually add that label. The label number was added here. But anyway, it's trying to save it as poly data, which is good, but it's a .vtk file. It's easier if you change this to a .stl, which is stereolithograph file, and Maya can just import those directly. So now we're going to resave everything, but we're also going to save these two new files. Yes, so it's going to overwrite the MRML file that we opened earlier. So we just have to leave it to export. So when we come back, we will, I have to say yes to all. So it's overwriting some existing files, so it's asking permission to do that. So it's done. Everything is saved now. That export is the same as saving. So I'm just going to quit. And then, yes. So when we come back, we'll look at bringing these things into Maya, fixing up the mesh a little bit, and preparing them for rendering.